fire where there is a little bit of added pressure. Benetton, you were mentioning earlier on about how even though you might have you might be on like the top 16 graphic, or obviously you've been at the event, like it's that top 8 slot that is sort of like that next level. It's that almost like benchmark of achievement. So there is that added little bit of pressure there, and it seems like Kendrick Olimar, particularly at these bigger events, has been doing incredibly well. So maybe he'll make some kind of miracles happen today. However, it is going to be a huge barrier as we get into this game one, starting out as classic Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, and speaking of Kendrick Olimar's like a good advantage.
Oh, what a start. Yeah, that's tough. Because again, like I've kind of mentioned it before with saying that during Zangli versus Zone, but like Zone's the kind of player as well that you just cannot really be giving these sort of bleeds to. You kind of be sort of dropping sets, because Zone can now just play at this like range, at this pace that's so comfortable for him. But kind of all that said, like I like that sort of the pressure that Kendrick Olimar has been throwing out, actually, like all his projectiles on the ledge, just forcing Zone just to kind of not go for any sort of actually aggressive option. Like Kendrick Olimar has not been touched really.
Yeah, I really like. Oh, sorry. You can speak.
I was going to say, I would like to say, notice how Kendrick Olimar has managed to bring this back. It's like a fairly close game, despite SDing at like literally about 0% at the start. So maybe what he was saying to Luigi was right. Maybe this is the one, because he seems pretty confident despite the unfortunate SD.
Yeah, he's playing neutral like really slowly, as we see. Usually, when I watch these two, he's rushing in quite a bit. Like now he's using his explosive advantage state he gets off of his neutral wins to capitalize off of the most, and we see that from the arrow into the up air kill confirmed that he's very known for, and we see him very confident going into the next stock. But Zone has a pretty confident lead right now, zoning him out a little bit, and it's interesting, honestly.
It's wild as well, because there's even those situations where I've seen a couple of times where Kendrick has gone for like the grab and it happens to have gone the wrong way, but Zone hasn't really gone in for a punish, and I think that's almost like a trademark of his playstyle, where he's an incredibly safe player, and many people, Kendrick included, have told him, almost to a fault, he sometimes is a little bit too safe. He doesn't like to go for these big risks that can sometimes net you the even bigger rewards. So, Kendrick already having that knowledge there is going to be good, but again, it does mean that if Zone is being safe every single time, it means that you really, really got to earn your hits. You're getting nothing for free.
I know I did play Zone yesterday, and I just want to say, him at ledge was like very, very scary. Like he had me at ledge, I was like fairly like clueless on what to do. I've been given advice, like I think he does struggle to cover jump a lot, although I don't think. I'd assume he would know like ledge habits of like the London players such as Theo himself right now, and right now as he took the stock, he's trying to get like a good batch to go and make sure he doesn't like bring to the last stock. He just wants to like close the game out. And also I did notice, or something that I recognised from my set, is that he is just very good at like taking lead. As I think it was one you, I think it might have been you, Josie, but he was just very good at just not letting you like get in when he has that lead, and so he's sitting very comfortably right now.
Oh, wow.
I like the aggressive option, though.
Back up down smash, but just not quite taking the stock. But Zone's at ledge. This could be pretty good positioning from Kendrick Olimar right now. Just throwing out the boomerang, throwing out the bombs. More bombs on the way for Zone. Just has him at ledge, but Zone trying to find his way out, but gets grabbed. Will the forward throw be it? Yes, it will.
Yeah, it's really difficult because you've always got the temptation to kind of hold shield against Youngling, because for the most part, the grab's not doing too much off like, the odd 1-2 piece. But in this situation there, when you're sort of throwing out this sort of rain of projectiles and throwing out a lot of these neutral airs as well, once you get to that like 150% range, strong neutral air is going to start killing. So then when you've got the option to then, okay, you've got to hold shield, oh no, I'm grabbed, why am I dead? It's such good conditioning on the side of Kendrick, and even then he's been doing a pretty good job of making a slow but sure comeback into this set now. Only 60% between the two of them, and we know the kill potential that Younglink has got. However, of course, you've got to get past the ledge. However, Zone giving potentially a little freebie there. However, Kendrick not quite making the most of it.
Again,
oh, is that the back air? Yes, it is.
Damn, I was going to say it felt like Zone was kind of starting to like slip all the way, like let Kendrick on actually make this comeback, but it really only just required that one back air, something like that, one forward air, just to take away, and Zone locking in, taking that game one away. But it was a real tough fight to the end, Joycey.
I was going to say, one thing that I found really interesting already is that Kendrick was making a joke in the friendlies room about how like Zone's going to be so surprised when I make him ban things because like apparently when they just play they just back stadium, back stadium, back stadium, and I even just saw it there. I saw sort of like Firat look over for a moment and the shake of the head immediately from Theo to say, no, give me your 3 stages and I'm going somewhere else because he really, really wants to win this again. It's that shift in mentality between. Okay, well, it's just another loss at the weekly, whatever, a little less prize money, and this is a spot in the top 8 of, a very, very stacked invitational. So it's going to be interesting to see. We, had some moments of brilliance there from Kendrick Olimar. We saw these sort of little bits and pieces turn into a lot more, but, Zone, as we said, once he's got a lead, he's so difficult to get in on, and it was just Zone, like, slowly just keeping Kendrick at bay. But we are off to Kalos, a little bit more of a flat space, a little bit more room to move around, and we're going to see how Kendrick can sort of utilize these aspects.
And there's something Ben said earlier in the set, like, Zone's ledge trapping is known for being very good. In the UK scene, we call it the Ultra Zone. But however, this also coincides with the fact that Young Link has probably the worst ledge stats in the whole game. Oh, really? He has one of the shortest iframes on his roll.
It's really bad, yeah.
Like, everything catches his roll, like even on the start. So he's basically a sitting duck at the ledge a lot of the time, and Kendrick Olimar does not want to do that versus Zone. But he goes for the wave land off of the ledge. I guess that's why the Kalos pick really helping here. But he's off stage with 116 on him, and Zone is just keeping up the pressure.
I mean, this is what we're saying. Like, Zone literally just keep him at that ledge. Like, even there, it looked like Kendrick Olimar had made it back, but nah, he just gets sent right back off again because Zone will retreat back to the same shape. But thankfully, it's the nair that comes through. But the grab there, another whiff on it, will give Zone a chance to get the dash attack, get a little bit more damage in, and this is just going to be a huge punish.
Yeah, I love that down smash as well from Zone, just not even risking the idea of trying to catch where the drift is going to go. Just covers both sides, easy peasy. But another element as well that we're mentioning about the, Luke, you mentioned about the platforms being that little extra bit of difference. There's also the walls on Kalos as well, that wall jump being a second option, and we've already seen Kendrick pretty much using it every single time, just in slightly different ways. And again, it just means it's that little extra option that Zone has got to keep in the back of his mind. And again, to mention a little bit earlier on about the fact that they are genuinely doing stage bans, and it means that a player like Zone, they may not have played on Kalos for a very, very long time. So elements like this, where you've got to watch out for the wall jumps, certainly, with the sort of longer wall on Kalos, it is potentially going to catch Zone off guard. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, he does get a follow-up.
Oh,
but it's, yeah, I mean, even with the chase down, it's still not enough. But the down air suddenly got to, just somebody to
just absolutely explodes him on the neutral get-up. And that is a fresh stock for Zone, but he seems to be in a pretty comfortable position. But however, one neutral opening from Kendrick Olimar will be sure to send Zone in a bit of a panic state, because his advantage is really good, but the arrow in the wrong way, maybe missing up a little bit.
Palm is almost wondering whether maybe there's some elements of snapback happening, because we've seen this with some of the grabs as well. Sometimes there's been about 3 or 4 different occasions where Kendrick has just gone for an option in the complete and utter wrong direction, or maybe it's just that, again, that element of pressure of, maybe the closest thing to a bracket demon that Kendrick has got. So, there is that element there of, maybe it's nervousness, maybe it is your controller, but certainly Kendrick has been taking it a little bit slower, trying to get back into the swing of things. However, once again in the place where he fears the most, back on the ledge against Zone.
Yeah, so Woogie, I know you've, I take it that you would have watched like some of these two play like a good bit, yeah?
Yes.
Are you noticing, so obviously Theo said, oh, this is the one, trust me man, this is the one. Are you noticing anything different that he's doing right now? Because I can't say that I really watch these two play
I feel like I've noticed that Kendrick is trying to slow down the neutral one. He's doing a lot more of charged arrow. He's been telling me that he thinks charge arrow is a feature of Young Link instead of doing boomerang in neutral. And before, he's very happy on boomerang in neutral. I feel like he's trying to use charge arrow to get more openings on Zone, but the moments where he's not doing the mix-up timings on the arrow, he's getting destroyed, as we see here, 83%, because he missed an arrow timing, and Zone just keeping the pressure ongoing, gets the explosive flame. Kendrick is on his last stock, 121. This is not very good for him.
I was going to say, it is just slowly but surely falling away from him. Zone with a really clutch air dodge there to avoid the forward air. And the thing is, it seems like, Kendrick's got some really, really nice ideas in the matchup. However, it is just Zone keeping him at bay, time and time again. I mean, it is a pretty niche matchup that you got to learn, but going all the way down, and you can tell these two have played countless times. The counter as well, even Palutena's counter, and just the back air to boot as well. 2-0 currently to zone.
Yeah, you can tell the zone really knows how Kendrick's playing like very well. Obviously, Youngling's a very like sort of interesting character where he has so much things just thrown at you at the one time. Boomerang, arrow, bombs, and if you're not used to it, then you can struggle a lot. And I think Theo's very good at capitalizing off that. But when you're against someone that knows your character very well and how you specifically play, he struggles, and you can tell it like right here and right now.
Yeah, you can see that. Obviously, Kendrick just taking a moment just to think about these, just kind of reflect on it becoming. This is a big moment. Felt like sort of, Zone definitely has just got overwhelming a little bit. Like he's definitely just kind of, every sort of moment that I feel like sort of Kendrick trying to get someone going zone is just kind of smothering him a little bit. Just knows exactly where to be in exactly what sort of time, and the edge guards have been so devastating as well.
I mean, he's trying to, Zone is kind of like he really, really sort of, he can suck the pace out of someone's play, and it's almost like any heat and fire that you sort of run into a set with, that aggression, that sort of, that like hunger to just get in there and scrap. Zone is so good at completely diffusing that.
Yes.
And even if you're trying to sort of match him at his pace, this is what the man does for a living. This is just what he does. This is how he farms Meltdown week in, week out. So it's really, really difficult to kind of meet him and match him at something that he is essentially the master at. But then at the same time, his whole thing is, his whole style is almost like counter to that, like real aggression that we see a lot. So, Kendrick has got an incredibly tall order. I love that they're just, instead of dropping down and getting any old hit, just kind of trying to extend there with the back air. But again, just this slightly slower pace. Another boomerang, a couple more coming out at this point, maybe going back to the older style that you were mentioning, Luigi, about, those charged arrows, they seem to be fewer and far between.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that, it's actually been interesting from the kind of start. Obviously, Kendrick and Olimar actually going for a bit more of a aggressive approach. You point it out, Joyce, but these arrows are definitely less. We have gone back to boomerangs, we've gone back to the bombs more than anything, and more than anything, instead of the charged arrows, it's just been sort of just these 1-2 taps here that have actually just been keeping Zone at bay, while Kendrick is sort of just able to kind of find his approaches, get some strings going. And it feels like it's actually been paying off with good dividends here, because Zone's not really been able to find a way in, while Kendrick can now just shark for his kill confirm.
But it's difficult at this point, right? Because you've got 144%, and again, Youngling is an absolute machine at just racking up that damage. But there's this kind of slight percent here. It's like you need almost like 5-10 more percent before the neutral arrow is going to start killing. So at this point, you're kind of either hoping for raw hits or just for that. And some pretty suspect DI, I have to say. And, as quick as a flash, Zone is back in at, and even then up till at 160. Not quite enough for the stock. And again, Zone, the game plan is flawless at this point.
Yeah, you can see Zone again, just going to get all this free damage here. But Kendrick Olimar does fire back, gets that kill on Zone while keeping himself fairly fresh on his percentage as well. Going to just be getting all this chip damage here as possible. Again, Zone now just reset back that sensation. But I love the up BL shield actually as just a kind of get off me tool.
As we see, he's just slowing down both of these players are slowing down the pace right now.
Yeah.
Theo is content with throwing boomerangs, throwing arrows, and Zone just content with throwing off reticles, just at Theo, just trying to keep him away. But right now, it's even game. Kendrick Olimar, locked on damage, 89% on Zone's Palutena right now. They're playing very slowly, both of them just throwing out both arrows and off reticle. Zone might be in arrow range, I'm not sure. However, if Kendrick Olimar knows that an arrow will kill, he will 100% go for that opportunity.
And I do like this actually. I really rate this from Kendrick Olimar. He's definitely gone for the more projectile heavy approach. But unfortunately, it is the recovery onto the platform that Zone was so ready for. Just smacking him with that big back air there, take the stock away. But again, Kendrick Olimar just starting to fire back here. Just chucking out a whole armada of projectiles at Zone, just trying to give an opportunity to kill, to get something going. But Zone finds its way through with dash attack there, gets it into up air. But Kendrick Olimar still not enough. Zone's hanging on here.
So just a sort of little tap from the Zen, maybe potentially leading into something, but Zone just being a little bit too far away and then just trying to jump over, getting met with the auto reticle. And that's the thing, it is just Zone is keeping up this mid-range where you've got the potential of that dash attack, and then if you try and jump, the auto reticle just snipes you out of the air. And again, it's a tale as old as time, 150, 160%, and it's almost like the counter pick of Kalos. We're seeing the real sort of downsides of it. And again, another spot dodge, back throw, exactly where you want him. Zone just waiting very, very patiently. This is what the man does, and again, it's so difficult. Arrows aren't going to do it, but the neutral air will.
Gets the neutral and like we see right now that if you know the matchup and like know what to play around, Youngling honestly just kind of struggles at killing. He only needs a nair or a forward air, and that's being very bad for Kendrick Olimar right now, as there's so much extra credit tacked on right now. Zone gets the grab, gets a back throw. This could be big. He's been showing that he's really good at edge guarding Youngling throughout this entire set. Gets the nair at edge. Kendrick Olimar is off stage. He has the bomb in hand. Maybe if he needs another upbeat, but he jumps away. It gets sent to the other side, but the explosive flame is going to take it. And Kendrick Olimar, unfortunately, out at 9th place. Unfortunately, placing one spot away from the top 8 to what is probably his biggest bracket demon so far.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell. I mean, like, obviously, Kendrick Olimar saying that like Zone just plays the matchup, as good as anyone could possibly do. You could see it there. There was just this level of like patience, this level of knowledge that Zone was showing. Like just like the waiting at the ledge as well, just like fully stood still, just waiting to see what Kendrick Olimar does. That is inserting fear into your opponent as well. Like because you're just, it's the perfect option to just react to whatever they do. Like I rate people that just like stand there or just like walk, because it gives you so much time to see what they're gonna do and react to it perfectly.
There's also the range that Palutena was standing away from Youngling,
Yes,
where you can react to that, the neutral arrow just being